The next planet was inhabited by a drunkard. The visit was a very brief one, but it plunged the little prince into a deep depression. "What are you doing there?" he asked. Rewind. The little prince asked the drunkard, "What are you doing there?" Whom he found sunk in silence before a collection of empty bottles and a collection of full ones. "Drinking," replied the drunkard with a gloomy expression. And there he is. There's a drunkard. "Why are you drinking?" the little prince asked. "To forget," replied the drunkard. "To forget what?" inquired the little prince, who was already feeling sorry for him. "To forget that I'm ashamed," confessed the drunkard, hanging his head. "What are you ashamed of?" inquired the little prince, who wanted to help. "Of drinking," concluded the drunkard, withdrawing into silence for good. And the little prince went on his way, puzzled. And he thought, grown-ups certainly are very, very strange. And he continued on his journey. The fourth planet belonged to a businessman. This person was so busy that he didn't even raise his head when the little prince arrived. "Hello," said the little prince. "Your cigarette's gone out." 3 and 2 make 5, 5 and 7, 12, 12 and 3, 15. Hello. 15 and 7, 22, 22 and 6, 6, 26, 22 and 6, 28. No time to light it again. 26 and 5, 31. Phew. That amounts to 501,622,731. 500 million what? Asked the little prince. You still there? 501 million, I don't remember. I have so much work to do. I'm a serious man. I can't be bothered with trifles. 2 and 5 and 7, 501. 501 million what? Repeated the little prince, who never in his life let go of a question once he had asked it. The businessman raised his head. For the 54 years I've inhabited this planet, I've been interrupted only 3 times. The first time was 22 years ago when I was interrupted by a beetle that had fallen onto my desk from God knows where. It made a terrible noise, and I made 4 mistakes in my calculations. The second time was 11 years ago when I was interrupted by a fit of rheumatism. I don't get enough exercise. I haven't time to take strolls. I'm a serious person. The third time is right now. Where was I? 501 million, 5 billion and 2 plus 3, 1,000. Million what? The businessman replied that he had no hope of being left in peace. He realized, he did not reply, he realized he had no hope of being left in peace by the little prince. Oh, of those little things you sometimes see in the sky, you know, those bright little things. Flies? little prince. No, those shiny things up there in the sky. Bees? He thought. And there's the businessman, counting very seriously all of his numbers, not wasting a second on anything trivial, according to him. No, those little golden things that make lazy people daydream. Now, I'm a serious person. I have no time for daydreaming. Ah, you mean the stars? Yes, that's it. The stars, replied the businessman. And asked the little prince, what do you do with 500 million stars? 501,622,731. I'm a serious person and I'm accurate. And what do you do with those stars? Insisted the little prince. What do I do with them? Replied the businessman. Yes, nothing. I own them, obviously. You own the stars? Yes. But I've already seen a king who kings don't own. They reign over. It's quite different, replied the businessman. And what good does owning the stars do you? Asked the little prince. It does me the good of being rich, replied the businessman. And what good does it you to be rich? It lets me buy other stars if somebody discovers them. The little prince said to himself, this man argues a little like my drunkard that he had just visited. Nevertheless, he asked more questions. How can someone own the stars? To whom do they belong? Retorted the businessman grumpily. I don't know. To nobody? Replied the little prince. Then they belong to me, because I thought of it first, said the businessman. And that is that. And the little prince asked, and that's all it takes to own the stars? Of course. When you find a diamond that belongs to nobody in particular, then it's yours. When you find an island that belongs to nobody in particular, it's all yours. When you're the first person to have an idea, you patent it, and it's yours. Now I own the stars since no one before me ever thought of owning them. That's true enough, thought the little prince. And so what do you do with them? He insisted in asking. And the businessman replied, I manage them. I count them and then count them again. The businessman said, it's difficult work, but I'm a serious person, so I do it. The little prince was still not satisfied. If I own a scarf, I can tie it around my neck and take it away. If I own a flower, I can pick it and take it away. But you can't pick the stars, he thought and replied. And the businessman said, no, but I can put them in the bank. What does that mean? Asked the little prince. That means that I write the numbers of my stars on a slip of paper, and then I lock the slip of paper in the drawer. And that's all? Asked the little prince. That's enough, replied the businessman. That's amusing, thought the little prince, and even poetic. But not very serious, he continued to think about. The little prince had very different ideas about serious things from those of the grown-ups. I own a flower, myself, he continued, which I water every day, talking about his special flower on his planet. I own 3 volcanoes, which I rake out every week. I even rake out the extinct one. You never know. So it's of some use to my volcanoes, and it's useful to my flower that I own them. But you are not useful to the stars that you own. Finished replying the prince to the businessman. So it's an equal exchange, therefore making it important in his view, the little prince's view, but not in the case of the businessman, because he is not useful to the stars by owning them. So the businessman opened his mouth, but found nothing to say in reply. And the little prince went on his way. Grown-ups are certainly quite extraordinary, was all he said to himself